Aloha from the Hawaii Tax Institute, 2019. My name is Roberta Ruddy, and I'm a Senior Wealth Advisor with Wilmington Trust. And I'm delighted to have today Kenneth Hines and Victor Song from Integritas 3. They focus on forensic accounting, tax controversies, and compliance. Just to get specific about the Offshore Voluntary disclosure program. I know that ended in September of 2018. What's the new program in place for both U.S. and non-U.S. people?
You have to cooperate fully with the government. It's still where you have to get pre-cleared with criminal investigation to move on in that program. What's different is the penalties are higher, and that the taxpayer also has to sign a closing agreement. In the past, if you didn't like that agreement, you could negotiate it, you can walk away from the table. Now, you have to agree with that closing agreement with whatever penalties and interest that the revenue agent comes up with.
What are your views on quiet disclosures?
Part of the pitfalls, by filing that quiet disclosure, you don't have any kind of closing agreement. So you're always going to be looking over your shoulder, where's the IRS? Because they can always be knocking on your door. And now with information coming in globally to the IRS through FATCA and other means, they're getting a huge database and they're mining that database for leads.
There's two aspects with the quiet disclosure, as Victor just mentioned. There's the timeline. It's 6 years for criminal tax issues. Title 18, like false statements or things like that, that's going to be 5 years. But if you do anything after that, you can extend it because that's an overt act. So if you do the quiet disclosure 6 years, 4 months later,
guess what?
Civil knocks on the door, civil fraud, there's no statute. They can go back as long as they want.
A lot has been spoken about what they call the accidental American. So, somebody that was born in the States and then goes and lives in another country, but they are U.S. persons, right? What happens there?
It's imperative that they get into that program. They are an accidental citizen, but they have responsibilities. Some of those folks have never even come back to the U.S. That's where, through that disclosure program, they can file any returns, and identify any foreign accounts that they may have. They can get a closing agreement, and it's all taken care of.
What would be the procedure that you would advise if you were advising somebody in that situation?
Most of the people that this happens to, they find out when they try to open bank accounts. And they go to a financial institution in their country, and because of FATCA, they go, hey, we're going to have to disclose this to the U.S. That puts a lot of people back on their heels because they don't understand it. There's most economically developed nations in the world. We're the only ones with a citizenship-based taxation, right?
Exactly.
So even though you have a filing requirement in the U.S., because you're a U.S. citizen, there are tax treaties in place that overcome tax issues of tax due and owing because you're paying in the country you're at. So those are all the questions that you need to ask before you decide what direction you're going to go.
What is the one message that you want everybody to take away from this discussion today?
Some of the clients that we talk to, it's like deer in the headlights. It seems overwhelming to them, right? When they start hearing about all the different things they need to do to be compliant. I say to people sometimes when it comes to trying to deal with your compliance issues, just be honest. You have to doing nothing is not an option.
Commonality that I see with individuals and businesses is they feel that they've been doing it for so long, they become invincible. And they're not. And the IRS is very good at coming in there. It's a very good idea to get us involved at the front end because we can at least head it off from becoming a criminal investigation. Or if it is a criminal investigation, we can get involved early to do that forensic investigation to get it hopefully declined.